John Beltran, Dave Urich back at Bead Digger Stadium. The Bead Diggers are coached by Randy Dreitz, assisted by Len Schwint, Dick Creighton, Matt Menier, David Cummings, and Court Marquez. Jeremy Nix, the new head coach of the Florence Huskies, assisted by Darren Surfoss, Tuffy Lawson, Matt Howard, Tanner Wilcox, Preston Trujillo, and Jeremy Young. And the Bead Diggers will receive the opening kickoff, which is brought to you by State Farm Insurance. Let the State Farm Insurance office of Greg Mullen and Brush help you find the best policy to fit your life. Home, auto, life, health. State Farm Insurance is there for you and your family. Give Greg Mullen a call, 842-4555. As the Bead Diggers dressed in their home maroons with the white numerals, Florence in their road whites with the yellow helmets and the blue numerals. And last week, Arnoldo Matos Garcia was back returning kicks, did an excellent job. And he'll be part of the return team with Eddie Arribas and the deep man, Randy Baker. But perhaps of greater concern is kickoff return coverage, only because of what happened last week. Hopefully the Bead Diggers will have several opportunities to cover kicks. And we are underway, and the kick rolls towards the end zone, and Baker's going to let it roll into the end zone.
We got a little bit lucky on that one, I think. The ball was barely rolling, and Randy kind of nonchalantly let it go, confidently thinking it was going to cross the goal line, and those Huskies were on about the 10-yard line before it trickled in there.
So the Bead Diggers have it at their own 20-yard line. So no return here to begin the game. Bead Digger starting lineup brought to you by Blodorn Lumber. You can browse the virtual showroom at blodornlumber.com. The quarterback is Kyle Rosenbrock. Mikey Gutierrez and Randy Baker in the backfield. Receiver split to the left and right. Alec Peterson in motion to the left. And there's the give to the deep man Baker around the left side. He's got maybe half a yard. He was wallowed up along the far side by a couple of those Florence Huskies. Second down and 10 right at the 20.
Florence has got 3 guys down on the line of scrimmage and then 5 linebackers, and boy, they're blitzing them. Got a free safety back there and a couple of corners, but the other people are all linebackers, and they're sending them.
Second down and 10 for the 20 for the Bead Diggers. Rosenbrock's in a roll to his right, looking to throw, throwing to his right. The pass is through the hands of Jake Brown at the 30-yard line. It'll be third down and 10 to go for the Bead Diggers. Not a good start for Brush.
Nah, the ball was just thrown a little bit high. But again, on that play, Florence showed some movement up there on defense. They started out with 3 down linemen. Then they bumped one of those linebackers up to a defensive end position, so they're actually in a 4-man front. So that stemming around is going to confuse our offensive line blocking schemes.
Third down and 10 to go with the ball on the 20. On the left hash mark, maybe offsides here. No flag. The pitch left to Gutierrez around the left side. Breaks the tackle to 25. Still on his feet. Very close to a first down. It's Mikey Gutierrez. I don't know if he's got it. Along the sideline at the 30-yard line. Unless he was out of bounds earlier, he was out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Only a gain of 5 before he was run out. Fourth down and 5, and the Bead Diggers will have to punt here in the early going. They haven't punted in several games, Dave.
Yeah, hopefully we get a good snap back there and a good punt off, just not having had the practice. But, it was a good call. We went with that quick pitch knowing that they're blitzing those linebackers in the middle and try to get to the outside, and Florence just did a good job of using the sideline.
Kyle Rosenbrock standing at his own 11. The deep man for Florence at his own 33-yard line. Rosenbrock awaits a snap. Let's see, they bring pressure. Perfect snap. Rosenbrock gets it off a end-over-end punt. It'll be fielded at the 30-yard line. Running left across the 30 to the 35 as the tackle was made by Jake Brown. And the return man for Florence was Johnny Crine, the senior. And the Huskies will have it there just 1 minute and 1 second into the game at the 35-yard line on their very first drive.
Boy, Brown did a good job making the tackle there. Had he turned the corner, they would have had a great return because there really wasn't anybody over here on the Brush sideline to make the tackle. Brown kind of jumped on him from behind and grabbed his jersey and pulled him down from behind.
Yeah, it wasn't the most conventional tackle, but he was able to get the job done. Zach Hoxie, he's the man you got to watch out for. He is the Florence quarterback. Lane Macer and Johnny Crine in the backfield. Enanai, 2 receivers out to the right, 1st and 10. And Hoxie rolling to his right. Pressure coming from Brand. Still rolling to his right. Setting up. Throwing deep up the sideline. The pass is going to be intercepted by Brown at the 28-yard line. He's tackled at the 30. Jeremy Nelson was the intended receiver. And the Bead Diggers have come up with the first turnover of the game.
What a great play there by Brown. As he stayed with him, they tried to force that thing in deep, and I think they were hoping that they were going to be able to get him up there and win that jump ball contest. But Brown stopped short, went up in the air, and came down with it real sure-handed like.
Well, the quarterback Hoxie has made mistakes every game this year that they've played a very good team. Usually 2 turnovers per game. Now let's see if the Bead Diggers can capitalize on offense after going 3 and out. 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line for Brush. In motion to the right is Peterson. Rosenbrock hands it off to Baker, running left side across the 30, up the left sideline to the 40-yard line. He's got a first down and still on his feet across the 45 before he's tackled right about there. Strong running by Randy Baker. And it's a first down. Cameron Marquez made the tackle, but it's a gain of 15 for the senior.
So running there behind Carwin and Rodriguez and Soto, they're at that left guard position, running that trap play up the middle.
1st and 10 for the Bead Diggers at their own 45-yard line. 3 in the backfield. Let's see if they keep it on the ground after a successful run by Baker. Handoff right up the middle. And that's a gain of about 3, maybe 4. Baker. Nope. That was Alec Peterson that time. It's a quick hitter there to the 49. A gain of 4. 2nd down and 6 to go for Brush.
Well, that was just a nice play call there. I'll tell you what, Florence is sending those linebackers. Inevitably, we're going to be running right past them, those blitzers.
Nico Guzman and Jake Brown check into the game. 2nd down and 6 for the Bead Diggers at their own 49-yard line. 10-10 to go in the opening quarter on 10-10 in this 2A quarterfinal. Bead Diggers won 3 and out, then Jake Brown just intercepted a pass by Zach Hoxie. 2nd down and a short 6, just shy of the 50. Rosenbrock, play action, looking to throw, setting up. He's going to roll out of the pocket, runs towards the 45, up the left sideline to the 30, still on his feet. He's at the 20-yard line, breaks a tackle, across to his right at the 15. Rosenbrock to the 10. Rosenbrock is gone! Holy Mahungus, what a run by Kyle Rosenbrock! 51 yards, and the Bead Diggers lead 6-0.
Didn't Kyle make it look easy? You know, they spread everybody out. He looked downfield, saw they had some decent coverage, and he just tucked it and ran with it. Picked up some good blocks, some good stock block, and one of them was Jake Brown over there.
Well, they say he's not 100%. You could have fooled me there. He stepped up into the pocket and ran out, and that was it. He was gone. And now the extra point to be attempted by Javier Munoz. Hey, that caught me by surprise. What an impressive run by Rosenbrock.
Well, we talked all season about how he needed to turn himself loose and give himself permission to run the ball.
And the extra point is good. 9:44 to go in the opening quarter. Brush 7, Florence nothing on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. There's a short kick by Munoz to the sideline, fielded at the 21-yard line and running out of bounds right there for Florence. I don't have that. Let's see if we get the number. It's 54. That must have been a switch in uniform number prior to the game. But nonetheless, they've got it to 22. A perfect kick by Munoz right to the sideline, forcing the Florence player to catch it and step out of bounds.
He could have let it go, and they would have probably got the ball on the 35, so luckily he made that mistake for us.
3-play drive, 70 yards in a minute 6. Kyle Rosenbrock from 51 yards out. 1st and 10 at the 22. Handoff right up the middle, and stumbling to the 25-yard line is Johnny, check it, Lane Macer. It'll be 2nd down. They might give him 4 there to the 26. 2nd down and 6 to go.
He's got some speed. You know, they don't have their sizes or their heights written down here on the play, so he's a average size kid, probably around 5'9". Looks stocky, but he's got some wheels.
2nd down and 6 to go from the 26-yard line. Receivers put left and right. The quarterback is Zach Hoxie with Lane Macer and Johnny Crine in the backfield. Hoxie will hand it off on the right side in a hole across the 25 to the 30. Held up right there is Crine. It's a gain of 4. And in on the play, getting up off the bottom of the pile for the Bead Diggers was Kyle Rosenbrock. We'll be calling his name hopefully a lot on defense as well 3rd down and 2 to go for Florence.
Well, we really need Kyle making a lot of those tackles from that inside position as Florence is going to come out in that I formation and running a lot of ISO stuff, so he's going to have to be strong in there.
That Rosenbrock touchdown brought to you by MMI International. Before your next mixer or feeder truck purchase, compare the MMI design, craftsmanship, and service. MMI International, 842-5161. 3rd and 2 at the 30. Hoxie, the option right, will pitch it out over there to Krein. He's got no running room, but he breaks a tackle up the sideline to the 40-yard line. He's got a man to beat, breaking a tackle now at the 40, and it looks like he's going to be gone at the 15, the 10. 5 touchdown. The Beat Diggers had him trapped, and Krein is gone. 70 yards, and Florence is to within 1. It's 7-6.
Yeah, just running that option over there to that side. Our strong safety flew up there to make the tackle on the pitch, man. He just missed it. And Krein did a good job with the stiff arm. That's what allowed him to turn the corner.
Oh, Dave, that could have been a 2 or 3 yard loss. And instead, it's a long touchdown by Johnny Krein. Now let's see what they do with the extra point. Well, that is certainly a killer. When you've just established the momentum. The extra point to be attempted by Dennis Donnelly. Jeremy Nelson, the holder. And the kick is blocked right into the line. It was not very high, and the Beat Diggers block it. 8:12 to go in the opening quarter. Brush 7, Florence 6 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. A 70-yard run on the third play of the drive by Johnny Krein. PAT was blocked. And there's a long kick taken at the 7 by Baker, running straight ahead to the 10, jitterbugging to the 15, breaking out of 2 tackles, still on his feet at the 20. Then he's going to be swallowed up across the 20 at about the 22-yard line. A return of 15 yards. Lots of scoring early in this game. We're not even 4 minutes in. Kyle Rosenbrock's 51-yard run, countered by Johnny Krein's 70-yard dash. But the difference is a Beat Digger extra point, and they start at their own 22-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Beat Diggers, leading 7-6. Give them the 23 officially. First and 10 for the 23. The Beat Diggers in that lateral eye. Let's see if they send Peterson in motion. This will be a give right up the middle across the 25 to the 27 is Mikey Gutierrez. Strong run. He burst through there pretty quickly. Gain of close to 4. Clayton Benish makes the tackle. 2nd down and 6 to go for Brush.
That was a quick hitter. I watched Rodriguez. He was flying out there to block, and he got hit. Got pushed over the top of the pile and got up a little bit slow.
2nd down and 6 from the 27-yard line. 7:33 to go in the opening quarter. Brush 7, Florence 6 in his 2A state quarterfinal. Rosenbrock on another handoff left side to Baker. Running room to the outside. He's got a 1st down as he stutter steps to the 40-yard line. Still on his feet. Up at the 50. Down at the 40-yard line. Needs a block. Cuts it back to the inside. Back to the outside for Baker. At the 15 to 10 to 5. Touchdown Baker! Holy mahungus. The Beat Diggers have 2 long touchdown runs in the game. 73 yards. Brush 13. Florence 6.
Jose Rodriguez, he was down there on the sideline on about the 30-yard line. He picked up the block. He had to block the guy that was going to make the tackle, and he sure did it. Good job to Jose, and great job of Randy reading those blocks and keeping running down that sideline.
Dave, this is an insane start.
It's crazy. Long run.
Well, we played less than 5 minutes.
We weren't able to do that against Fort Lupton, you know.
The extra point to be attempted by Javier Munoz. Awaiting the snap is Hirschfeld. Somebody moved on the Beat Digger line. And now it'll be a longer extra point. And Dave, with the start we've had here, extra points are going to be humongous.
You know, we've had that. It's kind of been our nemesis in the playoffs and the championships over the years is missing these PATs. And I was really relieved when I saw Florence miss theirs. Now we got to come back and do this to ourselves. It makes me nervous.
Well, this will be a 25-yard extra point now to be attempted by Javier Munoz. He certainly has the leg. Just got to keep it nice and straight off the hold of Ryan Hirschfeld. The snap is perfect. The kick is up. That kick looks good, and that kick is good. 7:13 to go, first quarter. In the 2A state quarterfinals, Brush 14, Florence 6 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. And the short kickoff fielded at the 20-yard line by Andrew Patterson. He runs across the 35 to the 38. A couple of beat diggers in to make the play, including Jake Brown. Now it's 1st and 10 for Florence. Another impressive run. Randy Baker, 73 yards, a two-play, 77-yard drive in 51 seconds. Beat diggers now lead by a score of 14-6. Florence has the football at their own 38-yard line. We still have 7:07 to go in the opening quarter. By the way, you can follow all the scoring updates on Twitter at KSIR Sports. Turn on mobile notifications. You'll receive the scoring updates as they happen. 1st and 10 from the 38. Hoxie, the quarterback, will hand it off in a big hole up the middle. First down across the 50. Breaking tackles inside the 45 to the 40. And that is Lane Macer. It's a gain of 22. And let me tell you, the Beat Digger defense has got to step up to the challenge right now because they've already given up one touchdown, and that was a big run there by Macer.
Well, it was that option look, and so we're a little bit nervous about that. They line up in that 400 formation in that I, and they made us think they were going to run option out to the right side again, and the kids are just going to settle down and read their keys.
1st and 10 for Florence in Beat Digger territory already at the 40-yard line. Two receivers out to the right. Hoxie on the counter to Crine, running right, following a blocker, and then Rosenbrock throws him back at the 39-yard line. A perfect form tackle by the junior. 2nd down and 9 to go for the Huskies.
Yeah, it was. He drove his feet. He had his head in front, right on his belly button. He drove him backward and then just kind of planted him in the grass.
If you're tired of the same old lunch and dinner menu, switch it up and pick up something new from the hot and cold deli selection at Stubbs Gas and Oil. Great food at low prices. Stubbs Gas and Oil in Wiggins. We've had 3 huge plays in this game. Rosenbrock with a 51-yard touchdown run. Baker with a 73-yarder, and sandwiched in between that a 70-yarder by Florence's Johnny Crine. 2nd and 9 for the Huskies at the Beat Digger 39-yard line. 6 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Play action. Hoxie rolling right. Brad chasing from behind. Throws in a run underneath. The pass is caught by Macer across the 35. Hit right there at the 34 by Rosenbrock. And the gain on the play looks like it'll be about 5 yards once they spot the football. They might even give him the 33. So it'll be a pickup of, we'll call it 6. 3rd down and a long 3.
So there's that waggle we were talking about earlier. He just stretches it out all the way to the sideline. Just like you said, they're going to use the whole field.
3rd down and 3 from the Beat Digger 33-yard line. And they'll try to extend this game as much as possible as the clock is stopped. Backs it an eye. Hoxie on the option left will keep it himself. He's got a 1st down at the 30, and then he's shirt-tailed down by Nico Guzman at the 28-yard line, but he needed 3. He got 5, and the drive continues for the Huskies.
Just that option look. We flew out there. Our guy that was there to get the pitch, man, he flew out there to tackle him. But whoever our guy is that's assigned to tackle the quarterback on this side, he wasn't there.
Northeast Colorado's locally owned Hometown Savings and Loan is Equitable Savings and Loan with locations in Fort Morgan and Brush. They have financial solutions for you. Equitable Savings and Loan. Dennis Donnelly checks into the game for Florence. 1st and 10 for the Beat Digger 28-yard line. Florence is not punted yet. They threw an interception, then a 70-yard touchdown run, and they won't punt on this possession because they're at the Beat Digger 28. Receiver split left and right, handoff right up the gut, a gain of about 3 for Lane Macer. Maverick Seawald grabbed him around the ankles as he got to the 25-yard line, 2nd and a long 7.
Yep, 29 yards on 3 carries. Nothing fancy. They're just going to stick with that option so far. You know, they come out and leave the ball in the belly of Macer and let him keep it sometimes, and then go ahead and let Hoxie run the option around the corner with Crine out there.
2nd down and 7 from the Beat Digger 25-yard line. Donnelly and Nelson, the receivers, out to the right. Very simple formation for Florence. Hoxie is going to hand it off on the right side, and nothing doing right there for Macer. He was hit at the point of the attack by Oscar Soto, who wrestled him down at the 24. Gain of 1. 3rd down and 6. Another play coming up, a big one for the Beat Digger defense.
They tried to run a little bit of a crossbuck action where they were showing the flow over here to the left side and then handed that inside handoff, and he was running back over to the right. He just ran right into Soto, who's playing our defensive tackle across from the guard on our right side.
From the 24-yard line of Brush, 2 receivers out to the right, 1 to the left. 3rd down and 6 to go for the Huskies on the Beat Digger side of the field. Shotgun formation. Hoxie takes off with the football, cuts it back to the inside. Then he's drilled by Rosenbrock at the 23-yard line. Rosenbrock took him out after a gain of 1, setting up a 4th down and 5 to go for the Huskies.
Just a great play there. You know, they looked like they were going to come left, and then he just kept the ball and ran back over to the right. But Rosenbrock, he just filled that hole really quick, and again, a form tackle and planted him right there in the grass.
Big play coming up on both sides. They'll go for it. 4th and 5 from the Beat Digger 23-yard line. 3:47 to go, opening quarter. Brush leading Florence 14-6. Nelson is out to the right as a receiver. To the left is Dennis Donnelly. Setbacks remain the same. I'll try to get the Beat Diggers to jump here. Hoxie rolling to his left, looking to throw, setting, throwing towards the sideline. Incomplete! Off the right hand of Donnelly at the 12-yard line. Defended nicely by Eddie Arribas, and the Beat Diggers take over on downs.
Hey, Rivas was there. He was there. He had coverage. The ball was thrown a little bit too high. It was probably, if it had been lower, it would have been a perfectly thrown pass and would have been really hard to defend. But Rivas was there.
So the Beat Diggers have it at their own 23-yard line for all your farm and ranch supplies, including Purina Feeds. Mr. D's Ace Farm and Home Center. Stop by any of the Ace stores in Fort Morgan, Sterling, and their newest location, 122 Custer Street in Brush. Well, this has been the battle of the big play. The Beat Diggers have 2 of them. Florence has 1 and an 8-point lead. Can they put together another big play? 1st and 10 at their own 23-yard line. Same 3 in the backfield. Baker, Peterson, and Gutierrez. There's the handoff right side to Baker. Stutter steps to the outside, tries to break out of an ankle tackle, and extends the football to the 27. If not, he would have only had 2 yards. Instead, he picks up 4 as Ryan Wilson, the senior, makes the tackle. 2nd down and 6, a very heady play by Randy Baker.
Yep, he did a good job, and boy, he's doing a really good job at trying to keep his feet, even after a guy makes a tackle. They're holding on to his leg, and he's still driving off that inside leg, trying to break it and pick up 1 more yard.
By the way, we should mention a gorgeous day in Brush today. No wind, temperature in the lower 60s. 2nd down and 6 to go for the Beat Diggers at their own 27-yard line. Rosenbrock will send Peterson in motion to the right, and then Guzman jumped. The Beat Diggers will be set back 5 yards. 2nd and 6 goes to 2nd and 11. Yeah, just lost the snap count there. So now they're at the 22.
What's that tell you, though? Rosenbrock's going on 2 out there once in a while. That's going to keep those linebackers of Florence from blitzing all the time. It's going to make them hold back and not be able to try to meet that line of scrimmage and time it.
Jake Brown checking in with a play. 2nd down and 11. The Beat Diggers have the ball at their own 22-yard line. Yeah, they don't necessarily pass on 2nd and long. We've said that many times. Baker and Gutierrez in a backfield. Rosenbrock on the pitch left to Gutierrez, swinging it to the outside, to the 25-yard line, up the sideline, and he's tackled at about the 30. So he picked up a lot of yardage that the Beat Diggers needed off of the penalty, as he was run out of bounds on the far sideline, on the right sideline in front of the Florence bench. But it's a gain of 8. 3rd down and 3 to go for Brush.
With that quick pitch, they had guys blocked. What a great job. Boy, the coaches have done a good job of getting these kids ready for this defense. Florence still has those 3 down linemen. They put somebody up on the line. They shift people around, but they're basically all linebackers up there. Everybody's in the box.
3rd and 3 to go for the Beat Diggers at their own 30-yard line. Rosenbrock with a hard count. Looked like Florence jumped, but did not get across the line of scrimmage. Handoff right up the middle, and that is very close to the 1st down by Mikey Gutierrez at like the 33-yard line before he was hit right there. They might have to measure this, Dave, but he's right at the stick. In fact, now that I see it more, I think he got it. Yeah, he did get it. In fact, they'll give him the 34 as they respotted a gain of 4 and a Beat Digger 1st down with 1:45 to go in the opening quarter, and Brush leading Florence 14-6.
Yeah, from our angle here, it looked close there at the beginning, but he got a real good spot from the line judge on this side.
Guzman checks back into the game here for Clay Shaver. 1st and 10 for the Beat Diggers at their own 34-yard line. This is a no receiver set. Rosenbrock handoff to Baker, off left tackle across the 35, and then he's taken down and driven back towards the 38-yard line. Clayton Benish made the tackle, the senior. And the official gain for Baker is going to be 3 yards, just past the 37. 2nd down and 7 to go for Brush.
Yeah, they had him stood up there. He was stopped, and then the kids were down low around his leg. And then pretty soon that Benish kid came from the backfield and kind of shoved him over the top. It looked like one of those painful kind of high-low tackles.
Yeah, it did. Down to 49 seconds to go. Second down and a short 7. The ball just passed the B-Digger 37-yard line. Peterson in motion to the right. Rosenbrock rolls to his right. Now he's going to take off with the football. He's got a seam to the outside of the 40, up the sideline to the 45. Rosenbrock has nothing but green in front of him. At the 30, Rosenbrock to the 15, the 10, the 5, and it's a touchdown for Rosenbrock! He did it again! Kyle Rosenbrock has gone 62 yards, and the Beat Diggers lead 20-6.
113 yards on 2 carries. You can tell he's still not up to full speed. Normally guys wouldn't catch him or even come close to catching him from behind, but what a great job there. Again, I'll tell you what, I watched it. Jose Rodriguez pulled out here to this side, and he made the big block on that corner right up there close to the line of scrimmage that broke Rosenbrock free.
Dave, how many big plays have we seen in a game like this? You're 4 in 1 quarter?
It's crazy.
Yeah, this is insane right now. We might see this maybe over 2 games, but not just 1, not a quarter. The extra point by Javier Munoz is up. That looks perfect from here it is. 31.1 seconds to go. Opening quarter. Brush 21, Florence 6 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. The ensuing kickoff goes out of bounds at the 27-yard line as Munoz tried to pooch it towards the Beat Diggers sideline. So the ball's going to be placed at the 35-yard line. And that's where Florence will have it. So one of the few negatives here in the opening quarter. The Beat Diggers now leading 21-6. A 5-play, 77-yard drive in 2 minutes and 59 seconds. We have 31.1 seconds to go in the opening quarter. 1st and 10 for Florence at their own 35-yard line. Receivers out to the left and right. Hoxie hands off right up the middle. A nice hole for Krein. Tackled across the 40 to the 42 by Oscar Soto. It's a gain of 7. 2nd down and 3 yards to go as the clock runs inside of 15 seconds to go. I don't think Florence is going to get another playoff before the end of the opening quarter. They'll run up to the line of scrimmage now. They're going to retreat. We have played 12 minutes with the score. Brush 21, Florence 6. You're listening to the 2013 Colorado High School Football Playoffs on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. John Beltran, Dave Urich back from Beat Digger Stadium in Brush. 2nd down and 3 to go. There's the handoff right side. The ball is fumbled and it's still loose. Oh, and it looks like Zach Hoxie jumped on top of it off the handoff to Macer. And the ball rolled back towards the line of scrimmage at the 42-yard line as we begin the second quarter. It'll be 3rd down and 3 to go. So Macer got bailed out. Officially no gain for him by his quarterback, Hoxie, who jumped back on the football. But Alec Peterson was right there, and Peterson has a knack for recovering those balls.
He does. He's always in the middle of that stuff. He seems like he gets a turnover about every game, and he just about had that one.
Brush with a 21-6 lead in the 2A state quarterfinals. 3rd down and 3 for Florence at their own 42-yard line. 2 receivers out to the left. Hoxie's going to roll that way with pressure coming. Now steps up in the pocket, looks to run, takes off. 1st down to the 45, down at the 49-yard line. Arnoldo Matos Garcia made the tackle, but it's a gain of 7. And the drive continues for the Huskies.
You know, they tried to run that waggle pass over there to the left side, but I think Hoxie was just going to keep it the whole time. It didn't look like he was going to throw it. It didn't look like he wanted to throw it.
And that decision paid off for him. Your one-stop center for home improvement projects, Ackley Building Center, 1402 Mill Street in Brush. Your one-stop shop for flooring, paint, tools, appliances, and more. That's Ackley Building Center. 1st and 10 for Florence at their own 49-yard line. Beat Diggers have scored on their last 3 possessions. And there is Hoxie keeping the football to his left. He gets around an ankle tackle and spins his way across the 50 to the 47-yard line. He gains 4. Eddie Arribas made the tackle. 2nd down and 6 to go. Baker nearly had him at the line of scrimmage.
First time we've seen him come out in that shotgun and just take off running like that.
Jose Rodriguez checks out of the game momentarily. 2nd down and 6 to go for Florence at the Beat Digger 47-yard line. Only one team has punted. That's been Brush on their opening possession. Hoxie will hand it off on the right side across the 45 to the 43, maybe the 42. And that is Johnny Krein as Oscar Soto makes the tackle, but it's a gain of 5. It'll be 3rd down and a yard to go. The Beat Diggers have got to do better against the run there.
Well, they've made a lot of adjustments up there on their defensive line because today they have Seawald out there at the kind of the defensive end position over here on this side, obviously trying to shut down that off-tackle play.
Two receivers to the left, but more than likely this will be a running play on 3rd and 1 for the Beat Digger 42. Handoff right side, first down, cutting it back towards the middle. Crine has got nothing but green in front of him to the 15 to 10-5. Touchdown, he's gone, 42 yards. 42-yard touchdown for Johnny Crine.
They're matching us. Crine's got 129 yards on 6 carries. Baker's got 96 yards on 5 carries. Rosenbrock's got 2 carries for 113. So, both teams are racking up some big numbers with multiple players.
Well, let's see if they attempt an extra point or go for 2. Yeah, there was nothing fancy about that one.
Now, they were just going to run that ISO and just try to get the first down. We just didn't have any blockers there. It's tough, when they're lead blocking, they send their fullback master down there and he hits on your linebacker. You got to have somebody else ready to make that tackle. We just didn't have anybody. They did a good job of blocking on that play.
Now the 2-point conversion. They can draw to within 7, and now Florence is going to call a timeout. We'll keep it right here. Again, you can follow us on Twitter at KSIR Sports. Turn on mobile notifications. You'll receive the scoring updates as they happen. And already we have 5 touchdowns in the game, and we still have 33 minutes and 40 seconds of football to play. The Beat Diggers could set a playoff record for points at where they're playing offensively. Unfortunately, their defense is giving up a lot so far.
Yeah, it's kind of working both ways on us. Tell you what, we got a good crowd. The Florence side over there, the small bleachers are basically packed and a lot of people lined up against the fence over there. And then on our side, basically from north to south, these big bleachers are pretty much full.
B&B Appliance carries a full line of in-stock and ready-to-be-delivered Whirlpool appliances. With the world moving towards more green energy, time for you to recycle the old and get in with the new. That's B&B Appliance. Well, they have new appliances. Well, they're still going for 2. This would remain a 2-score game if the Beat Diggers can keep Florence out of the end zone on this play. It's 21-12 Brush. Hoxie under center as the Huskies go for 2. He will hand it off on the right side, and getting in is Lane Macer. 2-point is good. 9:40 to go. Second quarter. Brush 21, Florence 14 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Baker receives the kick at the 10, running across the 25 to the 30, up the left sideline. He's going to be tackled across the 35 towards the 37, a return of 27 yards for Randy Baker, as the tackle was made by Corey Similon. And the Beat Diggers looking to counter another Florence touchdown as they went 6 plays, 65 yards in less than 3 minutes. Johnny Crine with a second touchdown of the game, and that one came from 42 yards away. And we still have 9.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Brush leading Florence 21-14. First and 10 for the Beat Diggers at the 37. Rosenbrock will hand it off right up the middle. And right to the 40-yard line is Mikey Gutierrez running right into the middle of that line. Picks up 3 yards. Looked like Similon was in there as well. Andrew Patterson makes the play, along with Similon. Second down and 7 to go.
Florence had their 3 down defensive linemen. They just left them there, and they kept their linebackers. They didn't stem anybody around that time.
Second down and 7 to go for the Beat Diggers at their own 40-yard line. We've got a playoff classic going on in Brush, with the Beat Diggers up by a touchdown. 3 in the backfield. They're coming on a blitz. There's the handoff to Baker, and he's hit right at the line of scrimmage. Read it perfectly as he was grabbed around the ankles by Clayton Benish. 3rd and 7 to go. Dave, that was obviously the perfect defensive play call there. The Beat Diggers swung that to the outside. It would have been probably another touchdown. They had a bunch of guys bunched up in the middle.
Yeah, they sent their linebacker on their left side. They sent him off tackle, and then on this near side, it looked like they sent him in between the guard and the tackle, and that's right where Baker was when they slipped through there and grabbed him by the ankle.
3rd down and 7 to go. The Beat Diggers have the football just beyond the 40-yard line. Brown is the receiver to the right. Rosenbrock will hand it off on the left side to Baker. He's got maybe a yard or 2. Nothing fancy there, as Baker was taken down. Derek Friend made the tackle. It's a gain Now we'll call it a yard. 4th down and a short 6, and the Bee Diggers are going to be forced to punt, we think. Never know with the way the Bee Diggers take chances. But Kyle Rosenbrock is in punt formation. Brush has already punted once this game. Looks like that's Johnny Crine back to receive. Rosenbrock standing at his own 27-yard line. Awaiting the snap is Rosenbrock. Perfect snap. He gets it off. A spiraling punt towards the sideline. Bounces the 30-yard line. Takes a Bee Digger roll to the 25. Excellent punt there by Rosenbrock of 33 yards. Now it's up to the defense. If not, Florence can overturn a 15-point deficit and tie the game with a touchdown and extra point with 7:12 to go in the second quarter.
I love that punt. We were over here on the left hash mark heading north. Rosenbrock punted it clear over to the right sideline. Master was over here to receive it, on about that hash mark. So there was nobody over there to cover it, so we were able to pick up those extra yards on the roll.
1st and 10 for Florence at their own 25-yard line on the left hash mark. Hoxie will hand it off right up the middle and hit it right at the line of scrimmage. Will be Crine, who has 2 touchdowns on the day. Jose Rodriguez, the first Bee Digger in on the hit. No gain. 2nd down and 10 to go for Florence.
Right, so he's still got 129 yards. The Diggers are right there, though, on the line of scrimmage, and we're able to hold him up there, force him maybe into a passing situation.
2nd down and 10 at the 25-yard line. Yeah, you got to force this team to punt. They haven't punted yet. Did throw an interception, and Florence jumped on the left side. Looked like either the left tackle or the tight end. So now it'll be 2nd and 15 for Florence at the 20-yard line. Bee Diggers are going to need another break here to stop Florence, get back into the end zone, and grab a 2-touchdown lead.
Hey, we love to make teams punt down here close to the red zone because pick up a lot of blocks down there.
6:30 to go in the second quarter. Brush 21, Florence 14. 2nd down and 15 to go for the Huskies at their own 20-yard line. They have trips to the right, 1 receiver to the left. Hoxie rolls to his right, sets, wants to take off with the football, now resets, now rolls to his right again, throws underneath, and the ball is almost intercepted. Crine had it, and then it fell into Rosenbrock's hands as he was trying to make a tackle. It'll be 3rd down and 15 to go for Florence.
Isn't that amazing how Rosenbrock kept his eye on the ball the whole time? It's not like it just fell into his hands. He actually made a play on that.
Yeah, it's hard to tackle somebody and intercept at the same time.
Right.
And he was trying to do both. It'll be 3rd and 15. That could have been a critical turnover. Stop, shop, and save on all of your grocery needs and snacks for game time enjoyment. Brush Grocery Card. You can also pay your public service bill and access Western Union, 1302 West Edison Street in Brush. 3rd and 15 for the 20. Hoxie on the draw play to Johnny Crine running to his left. He's got about a yard, maybe 2. Kyle Rosenbrock makes the play. He was not fooled whatsoever as he gets to about the 22-yard line. Gain of 2, 4th and 13, and the Bee Digger defense did their job.
You betcha. Great play. Just a good job reading their keys. And now let's see what their punting game brings. I see we got a Baker back there deep. We got another guy out here covering their wide man, but everybody else is over there where they can maybe make a play on this thing.
Yeah, let's see if that's Hoxie out there to punt at the 8-yard line. Waiting the snap. It's a low one. Here comes the rush, and he gets it off, and it was Hoxie. And watch out, Bee Diggers at the 50-yard line. The ball's going to be downed at the 49 by Jeremy Nelson. Eddie Arribas was a little bit too close to that ball, but not close enough that it made contact with him. And the punt goes for 29 yards, and Brush has outstanding field position up by 7 with 5:28 to go before the break.
We need to control this football now, not put it back in Florence's offense's hands.
Yeah, but that's going to be very hard to do, Dave, because of the big playability of the Bee Diggers. They have 3 long touchdowns. Brush might actually get 2 more possessions before halftime. 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Again, you can follow us on Twitter at KSIR Sports. Turn on mobile notifications, receive scoring updates as they happen. The blitz is coming. Rosenbrock will hand it off on the right side to Baker across the 50, still on his feet as he's dragged down at the 46-yard line. Strong run by Baker. It'll be a gain of 4. They'll backtrack the football to the 47, 2nd down and 6 to go for the Bead Diggers.
Again, though, they're sending those linebackers basically right over the top of our tackles, and Brush is attacking off tackle and outside wider. Florence taking a couple of their guys every time right out of the play, and we'll take it.
Well, this is where play calling is so critical. You want to call the right play. Bead Diggers in a 2 tight end formation. 2nd down and 6 to go for the 47. Gutierrez is in motion to the left. There's the give to Peterson running off of left tackle across the 45, and then he was hit hard at the 44. Andrew Patterson makes the play, a gain of 3. That's manageable right now. 3rd down and 3 to go for the Bead Diggers. Clock now at 4:25 to go before the break. Brush 21, Florence 14.
They have one guy that's just on Baker right now. You can tell because he was back there making the hit on him, and it was clear Baker didn't have the ball. They tackled him anyway.
Yeah, the ball's just shy of the 43-yard line, so it's 3rd and a long 2. Maybe the Bead Diggers will eat up some clock here. They've already taken a minute and a half, and they've only run a couple of plays. Just inside the 44, Florence. 3rd and a long 2, and the Bead Diggers call a timeout. That's brought to you by Greg Mullen at State Farm Insurance. Home Auto, Life and Health. State Farm Insurance is there for you and your family. Let the State Farm Insurance office of Greg Mullen and Brush help you find the best policy to fit your life. 842-4555. So it'll be 3rd down and a short 3 just inside the Florence 44. Yeah, there's always conflicting philosophies, Dave. Do you score quickly, have a chance to get the ball back because, Florence receives the second half kickoff? Or do you really take the time off the clock, hopefully grab a 2-touchdown lead, feel better about your team here going into halftime? You want the touchdown either way. It's just when you score it.
Right. I just know one thing for sure. We don't want to give Florence the chance to close that gap and then get the ball right after half. But our defense is playing them a lot tougher now. That last series, we did a lot better job making sure we knew where Hoxie was, and the kids did a good job with their pressure from the inside, controlling the line of scrimmage there, and that's going to throw off some of their game if they can't run the ball right up the middle with that ISO.
3rd down and a short 3 just inside the Florence 44. Receivers split out to the left and right. Same 3, Peterson, Gutierrez, and Baker remain in the backfield. We're down to 3:56 to go before halftime. Man in motion to the left is Gutierrez. Rosenbrock on the pitch left, went behind Peterson. He grabbed it anyway, and he is dragged down at the 42 as he swung it to the outside. He's going to be maybe just a little bit short of the 1st down. Penetration by Clayton Benesh and Corey Similon. Gain of 2. Bead Diggers should go for it here on a 4th down. Oh, that looks like less than a yard, Dave.
Yeah, this is a good goose and go situation here as Florence doesn't have anybody over the center, and their middle linebackers playing back a little bit deeper. They brought guys up that last time. They brought them up outside, try to stop that pitch.
But this is a huge play. The Bead Diggers don't pick it up either. Florence gets all the momentum with the ball and the possession to begin the 3rd quarter.
Well, they've got the center covered now.
4th and a yard from the 42. Nico Guzman is in motion to the right. Quarterback sneak, 1st down for Rosenbrock, who drives inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. He actually picked up 3 yards in a quarterback sneak. And Dave, you called it right there. Just let your quarterback do the damage. He's got all the protection in front of him.
Right. And when you get into these big games, you got to put the ball in the guy's hands that's got you there. And granted, we've spread it around a lot this year and have a lot of different contributors, but when it comes down to it and you need the yard, I'd rather gamble with Rosenbrock.
On Brush is taken up well over 2.5 minutes, and they've only moved 12 yards. So they know how to keep it slow. 1st and 10 for the 39-yard line of Florence. Bead Diggers up by 7. Rosenbrock on the bootleg right, and then he stops, and he's going to be tackled for a huge loss. Near midfield, it was read perfectly by Clayton Benesh. There was some forward progress to the 47, but it's a loss of 8 for Rosenbrock and the Bead Diggers. 2nd down and 18 to go. Again, the good news now is that when you're going backwards, the clock continues to tick. But still plenty of time to score before the break as well. 2nd and 18 for the 47. Beat Diggers will take their time in the huddle. They know that Florence should be the team taking the timeouts now in case Brush cannot pick up a first down and extend the drive. So they're doing exactly what they have to do, managing the clock. Brown and Guzman, the receivers to the right. Peterson to the left. Only one setback, that's Gutierrez. Peterson now in motion to the right. 2nd and 18 for the Florence 47. Rosenbrock back to throw, setting up a screen, looking to his left. Pressure coming, he falls down. That goes as a sack. Rosenbrock slipped. And now there'll be a timeout called by Florence. That's a loss of 10. Now it'll be 3rd down and 28.
You know, they try to use Peterson as a decoy. Once he ran that motion over to the right side, he put his hand up like we were going to throw that flare pass over there to him. We drifted out to the screen on this side, but Florence had a couple of players do a good job of reading that. They were over there ready to. That could have been a pick six if Rosenbrock would have tried to throw it.
Well, they'll advance the football to the 44, loss of 9, but still, you're looking at 3rd and 27 to go for the Beat Diggers. Not that we call plays from here, Dave, but this almost reeks of a draw play or something. Or who knows? Hey, with a big playability, we've seen 3rd and 15, 3rd and 20 picked up before, but this is closer to 3rd and 30 at this point.
Well, what have we seen year in, year out from this situation? This year Rosenbrock could easily spread everybody out, act like he's going to throw it and run with it. But a lot of times we've seen that draw, just like what you're saying, that fullback draw.
All right, there's an issue with the clock right now. Now we got it fixed. 1:31 to go. Before the break, it'll be 3rd down with one timeout remaining, by the way, for Florence. 3rd down and 27. They've got to get to the 29-yard line of Florence. Beat Diggers could actually go for it if they pick up probably about 15 yards on this play. I'd say at least 15 yards, and they might actually think of going for it.
I've only thrown the ball once today.
On 3rd down and 26. Rosenbrock, play action, looks to throw, sets up in the pocket, plenty of time. Now rolls to his right, escapes pressure, throws it toward the right. Brown is out there, complete. First down, Brown breaks a tackle at the 20, up the right sideline to the 10. Brown to the 5, he dives for the end zone. Is that a touchdown? And it is not. He's down at the 1. Holy Mahungus, what a play from Rosenbrock to Brown. That went all the way from the 44 to the 1, 55 yards from Rosenbrock to Brown. Dave, do you believe it? 1st and goal for Brush.
Well, I'll tell you what, Rosenbrock did a really good job of breaking out of that tackle. It was just our 30 series where it was a bootleg right pass, and he broke out of the tackle, but then he extended it to the sideline, and Brown did a good job of changing his direction. He headed back to the sideline, and Rosenbrock was able to see him down there and just threw a strike. Brown came back and caught it.
1st and goal for the 1. Rosenbrock hands it off to Baker, right side, and he's in for the Beat Digger touchdown. Baker scores again, his 2nd touchdown of the game. Brush 27, Florence 14.
Good job of blocking over there behind Nichols and Rodriguez. Brown's also the tight end that's usually over there on that side. The Diggers are having a lot of good luck running out of that double tight formation.
Dave, on that pass, you were very analytical, like you expected it. 3rd and 27, roll out, break a tackle, pick it up, and like you said, a great play on Brown's end, too, because he could have been tackled at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, I guarantee you, Rosenbrock wanted to throw it left, but he almost got tackled, so he rolled right, and Brown adjusted his pattern over to that side of the field.
The extra point to be attempted by Javier Munoz. High snap. The kick is up, and that kick is off to the left. 1:14 to go, 2nd quarter. Brush 27, Florence 14 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. On the ensuing kickoff, Lane Macer fields it at the 25. Runs across the 35 to the 38-yard line. A return of 13, Gutierrez and Clay Shaver, who Dave loves on special teams. Clay making lots of tackles in that area. Florence still has time. They got one timeout, 1:10 to go. The Beat Diggers, an 8-play, 51-yard drive in 4 minutes and 14 seconds, but it was a 55-yard pass to Brown that set it up because the Beat Diggers actually went backwards for a bit. From the 39, 1st and 10 for Florence on their own side of the field. Hoxie with a shuttle pass right up the middle, and it's caught by Macer across the 40 to the 43. But the Beat Diggers were right there. Jose Rodriguez makes the tackle, no huddle offense, a gain of 4, 2nd down and 6. We're down to 52 seconds to go. Back to throw, now rolling to his left is Hoxie, setting over the middle. The pass is going to be tipped and caught off the deflection by Krein. It went from one receiver to the other. 1st and 10 at the 40. It's a gain of 17. That ball was bobbled by the receiver. Then Krein came from behind, and he snagged it out of the air.
Yeah, Dennis Donnelly was the receiver, and it hit him right in the chest, and it bounced up in the air just about a foot above his head, and Krein took it.
Sometimes better to be lucky than good. Gain of 17. 1st and 10 for the 40. Shotgun formation for Hoxie. Has the football, rolls to his right, sets, wants to step up in the pocket, breaks out of a tackle, rolling to his right, takes off towards the sideline, and he's across the 40, and he's out of bounds at the 38-yard line. He stops the clock after a gain of 2. 31.4 seconds to go. Brush just cannot allow the big play because at the very least they would force Florence to attempt a field goal, but they do have one timeout remaining.
He had great coverage on that play. There was nobody for him to throw the ball to. And then when he wanted to tuck and run it over here, there was plenty of guys there to help make the tackle. You know, Baker was stringing it out, and then Peterson was flying up there to make the tackle had he decided to tuck it and run.
2nd down and 8 for the Beat Digger 38-yard line. Trips to the left. Hoxie's going to roll that way. Throws underneath. The pass is going to be caught. Stutter stepping at the 35 is Krein. And then Alec Peterson has him at the 33. They'll have to call timeout because the clock is running. Still running. And now they call the timeout. Down at the 32-yard line. It's a gain of 6. 3rd down and 2 to go for the Huskies. 19.2 seconds to go. If Brush can prevent Florence from getting a 1st down here, maybe the clock runs out. That's obviously if it's not an incompletion.
It'd be interesting to see what Florence does here. You know, you'd have to think maybe they're going to try to go to the air again and pick up a lot of yards.
Well, they can reestablish the momentum if they somehow score.
The Diggers are going to have to. It'll be interesting to see how the Diggers play this too. You know, they've done a good job running their option. When they needed to pick up the 2-point conversion, they didn't even hesitate. They ran that dive over the right side, so you know they could stay conventional. But we'll have to see if the Diggers are thinking more of a prevent attitude.
Well, Hoxie made a couple of turnovers against Manitou Springs in a loss earlier this year. 2 turnovers last week in a victory against Strasburg. He's got 1 already on an interception. Beat Diggers secondary's got to be sharp right now. You can allow anything in the middle and underneath, and that clock will stop momentarily for the movement of the chains if it's a 1st down. Right now, it's 3rd down and 2 for the Beat Digger 32-yard line out of a shotgun. Hoxie rolls to his right, looking to throw. Pressure coming, still looking. He'll take off with the football, and he's taken down from behind by Kalen Brandt. That was very close to a horse collar, short of a 1st down at the 32-yard line. No gain. The clock is now at 3 seconds. At 2 seconds, the clock is going to run out, and that is the end of the opening half with the score. Brush 27, Florence 14. This is 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. John Beltran, Dave Urich back from Beat Digger Stadium in Brush as we head to the 3rd quarter. The Beat Diggers leading the Florence Huskies by a score of 27-14. As the Huskies will receive the 3rd quarter kickoff. And this is where a game can often turn as well. Do the Beat Diggers retain the momentum, or does Florence pick it back up? We saw that when Florence scored a touchdown and held the Beat Diggers, and it was 21-14. That's when the Beat Diggers played their best 3 plays of the opening half, as Florence did commit a false start penalty, but they basically went 3 yards backwards, and they forced a punt. The Beat Diggers forced a punt, and then Brush was able to score and subsequently grab a 13-point lead. Same story now. You got to come out very strong here early on in the 3rd. And then force Florence to punt and then take it back into the end zone. But it just took that one drive. Get that first drive, Dave, out of the way where the Beat Diggers were held 3 and out, and the offense looks fairly unstoppable.
Yeah, they haven't been able to shut us down completely. We were kind of killing ourselves right before he completed that pass to Brown. You know, we had a couple of that. You know, we had that sack and then the slip. Sent us back 18 yards, but it didn't matter because the kids are so headsy. That's one of the we have some great athletes, but it really is in our favor, the fact that we have so many kids that you can tell have watched football and been in the game mentally several times because, they have so much savvy. They know what to do when things don't necessarily work out the way they were drawn up on the playbook.
ACI proudly supports local high school sports throughout Northeast Colorado. When you need ice, don't settle for just any old frozen water. Get AC Ice. You can find it at any local grocery or convenience store near you. Javier Munoz will kick it off for Brush as the third quarter will commence. Now, where he's going to kick the ball off, that's where you wonder. Obviously, the plan is to get it towards the sideline and limit the return.
Well, we were kicking it to 54 most of the time, but the last time we actually kicked it over here to Macer. I don't know if that was the best game plan, but we've been kicking it short.
The official's still waiting for the clock here to be reset. And Munoz to kick it off. That's a line drive headed towards the sideline. Good kick to the 15-yard line. At the 20, across the 25, looking for a seam, and tackled at the 27 is Jeremy Nelson. A return of about 12 yards. Named the number of beat diggers, including Alec Peterson, Eddie Arribas, and Arnoldo Maltos Garcia in on the tackle.
Conrad Cole hustled down here from the outside position. He went down there, and he didn't just fly in there to make the tackle. He just held his ground. He broke down, and he showed the kid that there was no way he was going to be able to get it to the outside and force Florence to run it back up the middle.
1st and 10 for the Huskies at their own 26-yard line. Lining up on the left side of the field. One receiver out to the left. The quarterback, Zach Hoxie, will hand it off to the D-back, Johnny Crine, running across right tackle to the 28-yard line. Arnoldo Maltos Garcia and Kyle Rosenbrock make the tackle. 2nd down, and only a yard to go there, a yard gain. 2nd and 9 to go. They backtrack the football to the 27. So a yard there for Johnny Crine. And you know that Hoxie is going to be a threat at some point. He has not scored. Crine has scored both touchdowns. Handoff across the left side, and Macer held up by Maltos Garcia, but he breaks out of that tackle and bulls his way across the 30 to the 32. It's a gain of 5, 3rd down, and 4 to go for Florence.
So he was hit there, but he just kept driving his feet. And so as long as he kept his feet and we kept our pressure, it was one of those plays where he just kind of drifted to the sideline as he gained ground upfield.
From the 32-yard line. Now Florence just wants to keep the ball out of the hands of the Beat Digger offense. The backs in an eye. Crine and Macer, 2 receivers to the right. Hoxie is going to roll to his right, looking to throw. Might take off with the football, and he's to the 34-yard line. He's taken down by Rosenbrock. The ball is fumbled, but I think he was down. He was. Rosenbrock with an open field tackle. If not, it would have been a 1st down for the Huskies, and Zach Hoxie instead. It's a pickup of 2 yards, 4th down and 2 to go.
Great play there by Rosenbrock and Brandt. Hoxie obviously wanted to roll out over here and make it look like he was going to throw the ball. And again, I think he intended to run it the whole time. Rosenbrock was just sure-handed out there as he made that open field tackle.
All right, it's a 3 and out. Now, don't make any mistakes here. Try to block the punt because it's only a 4th and 2 at their own 34-yard line. Let them get the punt off here. Baker back deep to receive at the 30-yard line. Awaiting the snap. It bounces in. Here comes the pressure. He gets it off. And the ball is going to bounce at the 40-yard line. Take a huge Florence roll inside the Beat Digger 30, and it goes out of bounds at the 26-yard line. That ended up being a nice break. Punt to 40 yards. And Brush will have it from there, but the defense did what they had to do. 3 and out for Florence.
Great series there for Brush. Really good job there of Eddie Arribas getting out of the way of that football, because after it made that bounce, it looked like it was almost going to bounce towards him, but he showed a presence of mind to get away from the ball.
Well, Dave, you got to score here to feel a little bit better about things. You do have a 13-point lead. 9:46 to go. 3rd quarter. Brush 27, Florence 14. 1st and 10 for the Beat Diggers at their own 26-yard line. More importantly, hold on to the football. There's the give on the left side, and Randy Baker has got nothing. He's going to be thrown down. A ton of Huskies there, including Eric Woolman, a junior, and Baker's getting up slowly. Yeah, it's hard when you go 1 against 4. Baker might have had the wind knocked out of him. We'll call it a yard, maybe to the 27. 2nd down and 9 to go for the Beet Diggers.
Well, when he grabbed a hold of him, it was one of those things like when like a hammer throw in track. He spun around and then slammed him down to the ground.
Yeah, Baker's hurting, but he's a gamer. He's staying in the game. 2nd down and 9. They might want to take him out of the game. He's peeled over 2 or 3 times. At least don't give him the football here. I would think that would be the logical conclusion. 2nd and 9 from the 27-yard line. Rosenbrock on the pitch left to Gutierrez, and he's going to hit in the backfield and thrown out of bounds. And the tackle was made by Jared Bombardier. Lost back to the 24. Beet Diggers are going backwards. Last time they did that, they scored a touchdown. It's a loss of 3. Now it's 3rd down and 12. That's what I'm telling you, Dave. This Florence team, a lower seed. They're really not the traditional 8 seed.
Well, they've made some adjustments at halftime too, so we've got to give them some credit.
3rd down and 12 from the 24. The Beet Diggers only held the football for just over 30 seconds on the first 2 plays of this drive. 2 receivers out to the right, 2 to the left. Rosenbrock to throw, out to his right. The pass is caught, but that's a very short gain. Out to the 29. Caught by Nico Guzman. But that gain's only 5 yards, and his knee was down, and he was going to be tackled anyway. They'll give him to the 30, gain of 6 officially. 4th down, and 6 to go. The Beet Diggers have to punt. That was quick.
Yeah, he was down on the ground when he caught the ball.
The Rosenbrock into punt. Well, both defenses came to play on the opening possessions of the 3rd quarter. Rosenbrock had an excellent punt the first time. Johnny Crine back to receive, standing at his own 32-yard line. Awaiting the snap. Perfect snap. Rosenbrock gets it off end over end. Crine will let it bounce at the 41-yard line. It takes a side roll, and it's down at the 42 by Peterson, so not the roll the Beet Diggers wanted. Only a 28-yard punt, and now Florence has very good field position with 7:50 to go in the 3rd quarter, and Brush leading this 2A quarterfinal by a 27-14 count.
You could tell right away that punt wasn't going to go the way we wanted it to. It looked like it came off Rosenbrock's shin, and then you could see in the air it had that backward spin. Luckily, it didn't take a huge Florence roll, and it went sideways.
1st and 10 for the Huskies at their own 42-yard line. 1 receiver's out to the left. Hoxie is going to hand it off left side to Mazer. He's got a yard, and that's it. Oscar Soto held him up for a gain of 1. Arnoldo Matos Garcia also in on the tackle. 2nd down and 9 to go.
That didn't fool Brush at all as we stayed in that 4-man front. 3 linebackers. Seawald's still playing out here at the defensive end on the left side, and Brandt's the defensive end on the right side, and our 2 big lugs in the middle are Rodriguez and Soto.
2nd down and a long 8. They advanced that football a little bit too much. The ball just shy of the 44-yard line. Hoxie under center. He's going to hand it off on the counter to Crine, looking for a block, and he's tackled around the ankles by Rosenbrock across the 45 to the 46. And he tried to dance his way for yardage. Instead, he picks up about 3 yards. 3rd down and 6 to go for the Huskies.
Got to give him credit. He tried to find that seam in between his 2 blockers, but boy, over there on that side, Rodriguez got so much ground upfield that it didn't give him any room to run.
Another critical play for the Beet Digger defense if they want to retain a 13-point lead. 3rd and 6, Florence at their own 46 out of a shotgun as Hoxie only about a yard behind the center. Rolling to his left. Pressure coming backside from Soto. Still rolling. He'll take off with the football across the 50-yard line, and then he dives to the 48. Was the ball loose? I think he's got a 1st down, but Hoxie took a shot and is getting up slowly. Does look like a 1st down for the Huskies. And, yeah, they'll give him the 1st down. In fact, he dove towards the 45-yard line, so he goes from 146 to the Beet Digger 46, a gain of 8. Yeah, that's where he's a threat, just taking off with the football, even though it looks like he wants to throw, but I think you're hitting the nail on the head, Dave. His intention is really to run the football. 1st and 10 for Florence at the Brush 46-yard line. Hoxie on the handoff to Crine. He runs into a blocker. Then he runs into Oscar Soto. who drives him back along with Jose Rodriguez at the 44-yard line. It's a gain of a short 2, 2nd down and 8 to go for the Huskies.
Diggers have really zeroed in on him. He was really their only offensive threat in the first half, and he's got 5 yards this half. So Diggers doing a good job of shutting him down.
5:55 to go, third quarter in this 2A state quarterfinal. Brush 27, Florence 14. 2nd down, we'll call it officially 9, just inside the Beat Digger 45-yard line. Hoxie on the option right will keep the football, and he's going to be taken down at the line of scrimmage. Randy Baker with all the penetration. And then it was cleaned up by Kalen Brandt and Maverick Seawald. 3rd and 9 to go.
Yeah, they tried to run that option over here to the right side, which is the same play that Crane ran huge in the first quarter, but it didn't fool the Diggers as they've made the adjustments they needed to make to shut it down.
And Florence usually plays it very conservatively. If they don't pick up a few yards here, more than likely they'll punt and try to pin the Beat Diggers deep in their own territory and hope that the Beat Diggers make a mistake. 3rd down and 9 to go from the Beat Digger 44. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Hoxie rolls to the right, looking to throw, still rolling to the right, steps up in the pocket, breaks out of a couple of tackles across the 45 to the 40. A flag is down. He's got a 1st down as he's across the 35 towards the 32, but this will be holding against Florence, and it's all coming back. They have very few penalties in this game, and if that one wasn't thrown, it would have been more difficult for the Beat Diggers on this particular drive, but instead of a 1st and 10, now we're looking at a 3rd and probably about 15 to 20 yards to go, depending upon where they step the penalty off.
Brandt was kind of patting himself on the head. He was mad at himself for not doing a better job at containing him. He didn't realize that was the penalty right there. The kid was holding him. That's the reason he didn't make it happen.
And the hold was well behind the line of scrimmage. That turns into about a 16-yard penalty. So now we're looking at a 3rd down and 26 yards to go. They got to get to the 35. They're at their own 39. Well, this picture is painted perfectly now for Brush. 3 receivers this time to the left. Last time in a 3rd and long, it was a draw play. Hoxie out of a shotgun. Rolls to his left. Pressure coming backside. Still rolling. High takeoff. Throws on the run. Pass is incomplete. At the 50-yard line, Jeremy Nelson defended by Alec Peterson beautifully. And Peterson hit him at the right time so as to not interfere because that would have been a brutal penalty. It is 4th down and 26, and Florence will have to punt.
Hoxie's usually good for a couple hundred yards a game on the ground and in the air. Today's only got 59 yards so far.
A very quick-moving third quarter. Randy Baker with 4:43 to go. Back to receive at his own 26. Zach Hoxie to punt. Standing at his own 25. So the Beat Diggers will actually get fairly decent field position. And maybe even better if they can block a punt. They blocked about 3 this year. Kyle Rosenbrock looks like he's coming. And there was movement, and I think the Beat Diggers moved. Also moving by Florence. Let's see what head coach Randy Dreitz is trying to lobby for an illegal procedure, and I think it is against Florence. It is. They did move. So now it's 4th and 31 at their own 34-yard line.
Yeah, the Florence kids stood up, and they were pointing at the Diggers and vice versa. Maybe one of those penalties you're glad the ball was on the hash mark that was closest to your sideline.
So Hoxie to punt at his own 20. Now Baker now at his own 33. Low snap. Here comes the rush. He drops it, picks it up, hits it off the side of his foot towards the Beat Digger bench, and it bounces in Florence territory and out of bounds at the 45-yard line. That amounts to an 11-yard punt, and Brush is in business.
Yeah, the punt went out of bounds 20 yards behind where they needed to get for a first down. So just a huge series there for the Diggers.
Well, Dave, that's why special teams is such a huge aspect of the game. And now let's see if Brush can capitalize on this special teams miscue by Florence. Still 27-14. That was the halftime score. We have 4:39 to go in the third quarter. 1st and 10 for the Beat Diggers. In motion to the left is Alec Peterson. And there is the give right up the middle to Baker. He's got a seam across the 40, up the left sideline to the 35. and is going to extend the football out of bounds for a first down to the 34-yard line. It's a gain of 11 for Randy Baker.
Yeah, he was still fighting for that extra yard. The kid was laying on the ground on his back. He had a hold of one of his ankles, and Randy was hopping and still driving off that inside leg.
Well, they'll give him the 33. First and 10 for Brush. Yeah, the only negative thing is when you go out of bounds, you stop the clock, because when you're in the lead, you want that clock to roll. But you know what? It gave him an extra 2 yards that he wouldn't have had he stayed in bounds. From the 33-yard line, Rosenbrock will send Peterson in motion to the right this time. Kyle turns, hands it off on the counter, running left side. Gutierrez inside the 30, back to the middle to the 25, and he nearly broke it. First down, inside the 20 to the 17, a gain of 16, as the tackle was made by Eric Woolman.
38 yards on 7 carries now for Mikey, and the Diggers are starting to break that Florence defense. You know, they're starting to have to take a few more chances, and the big momentum's on our side, and you can see it starting to break the Huskies back.
You know what they're doing? They're tenderizing them.
Tenderizing them.
That's a Dave Urich term that I love. Great football term. First and 10 for the Bee Diggers. They're back in the red zone at the 17-yard line of the Huskies. In motion to the right is Peterson. Rosenbrock will hand it off to Baker, running off left tackle, and he stumbles inside the 15 to the 13. So he gains 4 yards despite the fact that he was barely touched, but he wanted to stay low and perhaps pick up more yards, and he actually did.
Yeah, he did a good job of leaning forward, and I don't think he was more than a yard off the ground that whole second half of the run. He was just leaning forward.
Kyle Rosenbrock has 2 touchdowns, as does Baker. Baker now has 17 touchdowns this season. Second and 6 for Brush at the Florence 13-yard line. John Beltran with Dave Urich in this 2A state quarterfinal. 3:22 to go, third quarter. The Bee Diggers leading the Huskies 27-14. Alec Peterson will be sent in motion to the left. Rosenbrock will hand it off on the counter to Gutierrez, and he slips in the backfield and is down. He was hit hard, too, as he slipped by Brent Leggett, a junior. The loss of 1 to the 14 makes it a 3rd and 7.
I watched our offensive line that time fire off. I'll tell you what, Carwin did a really good job of not only blocking his guy, but also getting position on him and keep driving his feet. Soto was clear out of there. He was out on a linebacker.
Kyle Rosenbrock has not thrown a touchdown pass yet in this game. But they might go to some play action here. 2 tight end formation. 3rd and 7 for the 14. Rosenbrock on the bootleg right. Stutter steps, stops, tries to roll out of it, breaks a tackle, reverses his field, and he's back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. At the 14-yard line. Hey, he thought he might have been able to get that seam out there, but Florence was there to make the play. They made some adjustments at halftime as well. 4th and 7.
They sure have. They've done a pretty good job, but I'll tell you what, their defensive end or their outside linebacker got upfield so far that Rosenbrock couldn't break it around the outside. He had to cut it upfield a little bit sooner than he wanted to, and he was right back into the force of the rest of those linebackers.
Bee Diggers take their first time out of the second half, brought to you by State Farm Insurance. All Model Life and Health. State Farm Insurance is there for you and your family. Give Greg Mullen a call, 842-4555. There's 1:58 to go in the third. 41 points in the first half. In fact, there were 4 touchdowns in the first, 4.5 minutes of the
They've only got upfield 25 or 30 yards, but, it's been tough going for them to get that far down the field.
Oh, there's no question about it. And defenses, as they say, they can stiffen up in the red zone, and that's what this Florence defense has done. Once the Bee Diggers got to the 17-yard line, and Florence stepped up their game. But here we go. 4th and 7 from the 14. The Bee Diggers will be going for it. Jake Brown is the receiver to the right. Guzman on the inside right. Baker and Gutierrez remain in the backfield. Even if you don't get a first down, you pin Florence deep in their own territory. And there was movement as Guzman took off. Bee Diggers more than likely will still go for it. off the false start. Now it'll be 4th down and 12 to go at the 19-yard line.
Nico's got to hate that. That was the second time that happened to him. What's hard for him is he's out there by himself, and so it's so obvious that.
Well, he's an outstanding receiver too, so I'm sure he was anxious to get out there. He knows how to get open. He's got excellent hands.
Yeah, he was thinking he's going to make that play.
Right. Yeah, he still thinks he's going to make the play, and he might. So it's 4th down and 12 to go for the Florence 19-yard line. Guzman is the receiver to the right. Brown to the left. Rosenbrock back to throw. Deep drop. Looking. Throws it over the middle of the pass. Going to be caught. Touchdown! Alec Peterson was wide open. 19 yards away. And the Beat Diggers on 4th down score again. It's Brush 33, Florence 14.
It's a first down.
Oh, I thought he was in the end zone.
Yeah,
My
they
bad.
didn't give the touchdown.
Oh, Dave, I thought he had it. My bad. Okay.
I did too.
18 yards. All right. Well, not in the end zone. All right, he's at the 1. That's a second long completion to the 1. I thought he was in that end zone, but he was just shy. All right, well, they'll take care of it now. It was still 27-14. In fact, they're inside the 1. On 1st and goal from the 1, Guzman in motion to the right. Handoff Baker right side. He walks into the end zone. And now the Beat Diggers lead the Florence Huskies 33-14. Randy Baker with his 3rd touchdown of the game.
We spread it around. Rosenbrock on the previous play, that was the first time he dropped straight back and threw. Came out from underneath the center, was no shotgun, just dropped straight back. And he was just looking over the middle as Peterson ran that post pattern. And, he had position on the kid, and it was just a strike that Rosenbrock threw. And Peterson actually caught it, with his hands. It was about belly high, but he went down low and made sure he caught the football. I don't think he really cared if he scored a touchdown. He just wanted to make sure he got the first down.
And now the extra point to be attempted by Javier Munoz. Perfect snap. Kick is up, and the kick is off to the left again. 1:24 to go, 3rd quarter. Brush 33, Florence 14 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. And it's a low kick and a very short kick for the Beat Diggers. And it's going to be fielded at the 42-yard line and fielded over there by Corey Similon. I'm not sure Brush wanted that because that's great field position for Florence coming off the Beat Digger touchdown. 7 plays, 45 yards in 3 minutes and 15 seconds.
He just got underneath of it. He's been trying to kick it over there to the right side the whole game and having some pretty good luck, but just got underneath the ball a little bit too far that time.
1st and 10 for Florence at their own 42-yard line. With 1:23 to go in the 3rd quarter. And there's the give right up the middle. Maverick Seawald is going to hit Lane Mazer after a gain of 1 to the 43. 2nd down and 9 to go. Beat Diggers right now in very good field position. Keep in mind you can follow us on Twitter, giving you updates as frequently as we can. And Hoxie on the pitch right to Johnny Crine, looking for a seam to the outside. Alec Peterson's going to bring him down around the ankles for a loss back to the 38-yard line, a loss of 5 yards. And all of a sudden, Dave, we got a 3rd down and 14 yards to go.
What a job Coach Creighton and this defense has done. Him and his defensive staff. Look at the adjustments they've made. Just the adjustments before the game, moving some players around. Rodriguez is in the game a lot more this week, and those guys have obviously studied and known what they needed to do to create the matchups they needed so our kids could be the most successful.
And it has worked like a charm. 3rd down and 14 from the 38. Hoxie this time out of a shotgun. And that is the end of the 3rd quarter. The clock just ran out as the ball was about to be snapped. We have played 3 quarters in the 2013 2A state quarterfinals from Beat Digger Stadium. It's Brush 33, Florence 14 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. John Beltran, Dave Urich back from Beat Digger Stadium as we head to the fourth quarter. The Beat Diggers lead the Florence Huskies 33-14. Florence has the football, 3rd and 14. Dave, this Brush defense has been very good in the second half.
Well, they sure have. Not really allowing anything, just one decent run. Other than that, look at Crying 2, 2, 2, 1, a -5.
In a passing situation, Hoxie's done virtually nothing through the air. Back to throw out to his left. The pass is complete underneath. And then there's a pitch to Crine. Crine at the 50-yard line along the sideline, pushed out of bounds. It's a first down. As the ball was caught underneath by Dennis Donnelly, and then he lateraled the football to Crine. So for Crine and the Huskies, that's a gain of 17 and a first down on a 3rd and 14.
Got us with the old hook and lateral, didn't they?
Yep.
But they're having to start to pull out some of those trick plays to make this happen, and that's a good sign for us if that's how they feel.
Well, it's a 3-score game right now. 1st and 10 for the Huskies at the Beat Digger 45-yard line. Receiver split to the left and right. Hoxie rolls to the right, looking to throw. Pressure coming backside. Still rolling to his right. Takes off with the football. He breaks out of a tackle along the sideline to the 45-yard line. Then he's knocked out of bounds. Taking out, I think, an assistant coach over there. Maverick Seawald ran him out of bounds. And again, Hoxie showing lots of elusiveness. He's able to pick up some positive yardage to the 42. It's a gain of 3, 2nd down and 7 to go.
Bragging up about how well he did, but boy, that was a lot of work just to get 3 yards, wasn't it? This Digger defense is zeroing in on him, and he's got to be feeling frustrated.
2nd down and 7 for Florence at the Beat Digger 42-yard line. 19 seconds into the 4th. Brush 33, Florence 14, handoff left side, and Crine stumbles to the 40. Got to the 39. As Kalen Brandt, I think, had him around the ankles. It's a gain of 3, 3rd down and 4 to go. Visit MCC online at morgancc.edu or stop by the campus for a personal advising session. It'll get you on the right track and find out what options are available to help you. Imagine your possibilities, believe in yourself, and achieve your goal with Morgan Community College. 3rd and 4 at the Beat Digger 39-yard line. More than likely 4-down territory. Handoff right side. First down for Mazer across the 35 to the 34. Gain of 5. Oscar Soto makes the tackle around the ankles of the Florence running back.
There's another one that's got to be pretty frustrated with 42 yards on 8 carries. A lot less than what he's used to.
Well, they're going to a huddle, but a very quick huddle because they're down by 3 scores. 1st and 10 for Florence at the Beat Digger 34-yard line. Now Hoxie taking his time. Back under center. Will hand it off to Mazer, left side, big hole across the 30. Runs to the 27. Eddie Arribas made the tackle. It's a gain of close to 8 at the 26, 2nd down and 2.
Maybe Florence is starting to think, you know what, this is our horse. We only gave him the ball 6 times in the first half. Maybe we ought to give him the ball a little bit more often.
From the 26-yard line of Brush, 2nd down and 2. Hoxie again, hand off to Crine, left side, and he is driven back and down at the line of scrimmage. Kalen Brandt and Maverick Seawald nailed him right there. 3rd down and 2 to go. Yeah, I don't know, Dave, how in the world they gave me half a yard of the 25. That's irresponsible out there. It wasn't even close.
Yeah, I didn't even think he got back to the line of scrimmage either. But it's peculiar, Crine, Brush has got Florence out of their game plan. Crine's carried the ball 14 times, and he's not their gun.
3rd and a long one, just shy of the 25. 2 receivers out to the left. Hoxie on the option. He'll keep it himself. 1st down to the 20. Cuts it back to the middle to the 15. And he's at about the 10-yard line. Zach Hoxie with a run of close to 15 yards. And it's 1st and goal for the Huskies.
44 yards for him on 12 carries.
Well, he can get a 1st down actually like at the inch line. The nose of the football is just shy of the 10. And there's still plenty of time in this game with Brush leading 33-14 under 9.5 minutes to go. But I think the only way Florence is going to be able to win this game is to onside kick it a couple of times. That's if they score here. On 1st down, handoff on the counter left side to Crine behind a blocker being held up at the 9. And Beat Diggers love this because that's just taking time off the clock. Rosenbrock, first one in on the play, a gain of 2. 2nd down and 8 to go. This will be the 11th play of the drive for Florence, and they've chewed up well over 4 minutes. Second down and 8 to go. The ball just outside the 8. Hoxie on the option right will pitch it to Krein. Swings it to the outside, but Peterson is right there to drive him out of bounds. And he drove him out of bounds, but his forward momentum is going to keep the clock rolling, which is even more important. And that's going to amount to a loss once the ball is spotted of about 3 or 4 yards. Let's see what the official spot is. Is this all the way back to the 14? Wow, let's see. That's a loss of close to 5. 8:17 to go. Now it's 3rd and 13 to go from the 14. Passing situation. Hoxie looking over towards the sideline. On 3rd down. Hoxie rolls to his left. Still rolling, setting, fakes. Now his shirt tail, but it gets around the defender, and now he takes off again, and Randy Baker can't make the tackle. Up the right sideline to the 10, and he's taken out of bounds. That's a lot of running for Hoxie, and even the Beat Digger defense. He's able to pick up some valuable yardage. Maybe as close as to the 6-yard line. The ball along the far sideline will be spotted at the 7, a gain of 7. 13th play of the drive, 4th down, and just over 6 to go from the Beat Digger 7 with 7:51 to go. And this is it. If Florence has any shot, they've got to, at the very least, pick up a 1st down. 4th down and 6 from the 7. Hoxie rolling left, setting up, throwing underneath. The pass is caught, but well short of a 1st down as Mazer makes the catch at the 5. And then he's taken down by several Beat Diggers who were in on the coverage. It's only a gain of 2, and I don't know why that pass was thrown with no chance of getting the 1st down.
Right, Jeremy Nelson was open or at least he was in the back of the end zone. They would have had a play, but obviously Hoxie didn't see him back there.
Dave, you know that Florence is going to try to rip the football out of the Beat Diggers. I think he'd pick up 2 or 3 first downs. We know Brush Day with 7:46 to go. They could run out the entire clock.
Oh, yeah. And Florence is going to have to try to make something happen, like you said. So look for more blitzing and look for more big plays.
1st and 10 for the Beat Diggers at their own 5-yard line. Baker and Gutierrez remain in the backfield. Rosenbrock on the handoff right side to Baker. Stumbles out of a tackle at the 5-yard line and then is wrestled down at the 13 by Jeremy Nelson. Strong run by Randy Baker. Baker picks up close to 9 yards in the play. 2nd down and 1.
He kind of wrapped his arm around. It's like he had a crossface on him, and then he swung him around and threw him down.
2nd down and 1 for the 14. Now the Beat Diggers will just take their time up to the line of scrimmage. On 2nd down and 1 for the 14. In motion to the left is Gutierrez. Rosenbrock is going to hand it off right up the middle and nothing there. That was Baker back to the line of scrimmage as he stumbled and was hit. 3rd and 1 to go for Brush.
Try to just run that 30 series, try to get that trap up the middle. Looked like one of our offensive linemen got blown backwards a little bit, which could happen when you have a linebacker that's getting a run at you and blitzing.
All right, just pick up a 1st down here. You can take up another 2 to 3 minutes off the clock with a new series of downs. 3rd and less than a yard from the 14. They're definitely coming on the blitz. Rosenbrock handoff right side to Baker, and he extends the football for a 1st down after being hit at the 14-yard line. Baker got it to the 16, a gain of 2 and a 1st down, and that's the 3rd or 4th time Baker has done that in this game.
Well, that was just heads-up play. He knew where he knew the line was where he had to get for the 1st down, and then he was going to go down. If he had tucked the ball in and had it down by his belly, it wouldn't have been a 1st down, but he reached way out there to pick it up.
1st and 10 for the Beat Diggers at their own 16-yard line. Clay Shaver checks out of the game. The receiver to the left is Nico Guzman. From the 16, Rosenbrock hands it off right up the middle to Gutierrez at the 20-yard line. Then he stood up by Nelson and driven out of bounds. at the 23-yard line. Let's see if they keep the clock rolling. No, they're going to stop the clock. Nonetheless, it's a gain of 7, 2nd down, and 3 to go for Brush with 5:49 to go in the game. Brush 33, Florence 14. It was a 27-14 lead at the break.
Florence is stuck with this basically the same defensive scheme this whole time. 3 guys up on the line of scrimmage. Sometimes they shift up to 4, but they're always sending linebackers.
Accidents or illness can strike at any time, day or night. When they do, every second counts. As a Level 3 trauma center, Colorado Plains Medical Center can handle any type of emergency. Colorado Plains Medical Center, where expertise matters. 2nd down and 3 from the 23. Rosenbrock is going to hand it off up the middle. First down to Gutierrez, breaking a tackle, carrying a defender to the 40-yard line. A gain of 17, and Oscar Soto is down. Hopefully he's okay. But Soto is down. I don't know what part of the body he's favoring. It looks like somewhere the upper body. I don't think it's a leg injury. But the ball at the 40-yard line, so an official's timeout is called. Willow Coffee, Tea, and Smoothies and G Sweets Bakery offers cookies, muffins, and sweetbreads made fresh daily. Pair with your favorite coffees, lattes, or smoothies. And you're set. Open 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, Saturday, 7 until 4. Willow Coffee, Tea, and Smoothies, 921 Edison Street in Brush. He's limping slightly, but I think Soto's okay. At this point, you might keep him out the remainder of the game.
Oh, absolutely. And we don't know, if he's still a little bit hurt from that chop block he had down at Fort Lupton a couple weeks ago, because remember, he limped off the field in that game.
Yeah, it looks like a left knee issue.
But he's not sitting down on the bench. That's the good thing. He's standing up over there, and the trainer's looking at it as he's standing there.
Yeah, because you need all the muscle you can get as the playoffs progress. Faith Christian is destroying Gunnison today, 42-0. So the Bee Diggers and Faith Christian Eagles will be playing next Saturday in the state quarterfinals. Good news for the Bee Diggers. They've won the last 2 meetings in that series. In the state semifinals, Of course, we're in the quarters right now. 1st and 10 for Brush at their own 40-yard line. This drive started at the 5-yard line. Bee Diggers have traveled 35 yards. We have 5:28 to go in the game. Brush by 19, 33-14 over Florence. On the counter, Gutierrez looking for a seam, tries to get back to the line of scrimmage and will not. Thrown down for a loss of 2 at the 38-yard line as Jared Bombardier made the tackle.
59 yards for Mikey now, 11 carries. They have Soto over here laying on his back. They're checking his knee and looking it over. It's his left one.
Premier Farm Credit is still the lender of choice for America's farmers and ranchers. They understand and are passionate about agriculture, and they're dedicated to serving America in good times and bad. Premier Farm Credit, the gold standard in ag lending. 2nd down and 12 to go for Brush at their own 38-yard line. Clock now reads 4:40. Rosenbrock on the bootleg right. He's got running room to the outside, looking for a block, following a blocker across the 45. He dives to the 49. Rosenbrock found a nice seam across the right side, and he picks up 11, 3rd and 2.
That takes him back up to 109 yards. Remember, he was at 116 yards after 3 carries, but he took those 2 long sacks there right before the half, so puts him back over the century mark.
Yeah, we'll call it 3rd and about 1. 3rd and 1 to go for the Bee Diggers after the gain of 11. This is classic Brush. Just run out the entire clock. On 3rd and 1, with the pressure coming from Florence, quarterback sneak. First down for Rosenbrock, and he was tackled awkwardly. Across the 50 to the 49. Bardier makes the hit, but Rosenbrock gets up okay. And the gain is 3. And the Bee Diggers have picked up 3 first downs on this drive.
Not really doing anything fancy, just running right after him. And
I don't think Brush at any point here is going to allow Florence to even get the football back with the way they're just sticking it right down their throats. 3.5 to go in the game. 1st and 10 for the Bee Diggers at the 48-yard line. Rosenbrock will hand it off right up the middle. Big hole for Peterson across the 45. and he storms his way to the 41. Eric Woolman makes the tackle, but it's a gain of 7 for the junior Alec Peterson, and he gets up limping.
Tell you what, you talk about depth. How nice is it when you take a guy like Soto, huge offensive and defensive lineman, be able to put Teeter in the game and still just run the ball effectively.
And Soto walking it off along the Beet Diggers sideline. 2nd down and 3, the 41. They're just taking their time. And Florence is not going to call timeouts because that would just allow the Beet Diggers to maybe score another touchdown. On 2nd down, Rosenbrock hands it off to Gutierrez. 1st down right up the gut inside the 35. He's wrestled down at the 34. It's a gain of 7. Andrew Patterson made the hit.
Tell you what, we're going to be sore after this game. There's some big hits. Florence is flying in there and really knocking us hard. And we haven't had to take hits, consistently like this year. And this is exactly the kind of game we needed to go into those semifinals next week. A tight game that wasn't a blowout where we had to, play against a real physical defense like that.
And this Florence team is not a typical 8 seed. I've said that before. They've got the experience in the playoffs. From the 34, Rosenbrock hands it off to Baker, stutter stepping on the right side. Then he's tackled from behind at the 31-yard line. Ball is fumbled, but well after the play was over. A gain of 3. How about this? 11 plays for Brush, all on the ground. 11 plays on the ground for 64 yards on this drive. 7:46 to go when the drive began. Now we're down to 1:46 to go.
On that play, I just watched Nichols, plays our right tackle. They got a big kid over there. Like I said, they don't have their heights and weights on the program. But Nichols just buried him. He drove into him, and then he put him flat on his back.
This is 10-10 KSIR. Brush, Fort Morgan, Greeley. 2nd down. And 7 to go for the Beet Diggers at the 31. Handoff. Baker, left side, cuts it back towards the middle, across the 25, still on his feet to the 20. Baker with a 1st down, spinning inside the 15, and take it down at the 14-yard line. 17 more yards for Randy Baker.
So 147 now for Baker on 17 carries, and just a good job of breaking tackles. Again, took a huge shot there at the end of the play, like the kid almost threw a forearm on him.
Yeah. In fact, it almost looked illegal.
Yeah, it's true. If it was the NFL, he'd have been fined on Monday.
The Beet Diggers are going to go into victory formation with a football at the 14-yard line inside of a minute to go. Rosenbrock takes the snap, takes a knee. Dave, I think the best Beet Digger drive is the one they didn't score.
Yep, this was definitely the best drive of the game. They had to deal with some adversity, losing a player. The other guys had to step in.
And this is what you're talking about when you tenderize a defense.
Yeah, they finally broke, didn't they?
And there's another knee, and the Brush Beet Diggers have won this 2A state quarterfinal, defeating the Florence Huskies at Beet Digger Stadium 33-14. We'll take a 3-minute break and come back with a recap of the game. We'll also speak to the head coach of the Beet Diggers, Randy Dreitz, on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. John Beltran, Dave Urich back from Beet Digger Stadium in Brush as the Beet Diggers advance to the 2A semifinals, defeating the Florence Huskies 33-14. Welcome to the Beet Digger post-game show, brought to you by Buildings by Design. Knowing who you can trust to do a good job is the tough part nowadays, but when you hire Buildings by Design, you can trust you'll get the building you want when you want it and at the quality you deserve. Start your build project right. Start with Buildings by Design. The Beet Diggers win the game 33-14 as Kyle Rosenbrock, after a Jake Brown interception on Brush's second possession, scored in a 51-yard run, 3 plays, 70 yards in a minute 6. PAT was good. It was 7-0, but Johnny Crine of Florence came right back on a 70-yard touchdown run, 3-play drive, 78 yards in a minute 31. The extra point was blocked. Beet Diggers, though, responded with a 73-yard run in the second play of the next drive by Randy Baker. PAT was good. It was 14-6, a 51-second drive. And then after Florence was stymied by the Brush defense, Rosenbrock did it again, a 62-yard run, 5 plays, 77 yards in 2 minutes and 59 seconds. PAT was true. It was 21-6. And then still in the second quarter, it was Florence getting a 42-yard run from Johnny Crine. That was a 6-play, 65-yard drive in 2 minutes and 51 seconds. 2-point conversion run by Lane Mazer was good, 21-14. But on the biggest play of the game, 3rd and 27 for the Beat Diggers, they pick up 55 yards on a catch and run by Jake Brown. Randy Baker scores from a yard away. Extra point was no good, 27-14 at the break, and then only one touchdown in the second half. And it came from Randy Baker again as the Beat Diggers on a 3rd down, a check at a 4th down, and 13 from the 14-yard line. If I have that correct, yeah, they picked up a 1st down on, actually it wasn't that. I was thinking of another drive by Florence, but the Beat Diggers had a 4th, I think it was a 4th and 7. That's what it was, 4th and 7. They picked up a 1st down on an 18-yard pass, and that was down to the 1-yard line. And Alec Peterson caught that one. That set up Randy Baker's 3rd touchdown of the game from 1 yard out. Beat Diggers win the game 33-14 as the 2-point, well, actually the extra point was no good. Beat Diggers moved to 10-0 on the year. And Dave, let's run through the individual statistics in this game.
Tell you what, the Diggers really turned it on there in the second half. The defense came shining through, only allowing 74 yards total offense for Florence. They had 210 in the first half, 284 total. 232 of those were on the ground with 52 in the air. Hosky was only able to complete 6 of 10 passes throughout the game with 1 interception. Those passes were to Macer, who had 3 receptions for 12 yards. Crine had 3 for 40 yards. Their big workhorse was Crine on the ground with 131 yards on 16 carries. Macer was their leading rusher throughout the year. He only had 50 yards today on 9 carries. And then Hosky usually had a lot of yards every single game running the ball on the ground. He only had 51 yards on 13 carries.
Let's run to the Beat Digger numbers as well, as the Beat Diggers really did a job on this Florence defense.
They sure did. The Diggers ended up with Baker, 147 yards on 17 carries. Gutierrez had 66 yards on 12 carries. Peterson had 18 yards on 5 carries. Rosenbrock ran the ball 111 yards on 9 carries, but he also had 78 yards in the air, completing 3 of 4 passes to Peterson, Brown, and Nico Guzman for 18 yards, 55 yards, and 5 yards respectively.
And the Beat Diggers, as a result of those numbers, especially in the opening half offensively, although they did a nice job in the second half to keep Florence off the field, win the game 33-14. We'll bring in the head coach of the Beat Diggers, Randy Dreitz, as they'll get ready for a 2A semifinal coming up again from Beat Digger Stadium next Saturday, taking on the Faith Christian Eagles. This was a 1 versus 8 matchup, Coach, but it didn't feel like a 1 versus 8. That Florence team is better than a number 8 seed.
Oh, most definitely. I was, when I saw it come out the beginning of the year, I was really shocked. I thought for sure that they would be in that 5 area, maybe 6, but not 8. And, they're an outstanding football team. They're coached well. They have some physical football players. I think that's the most physical game we've been in all year. And, I was really pleased with how we played and how we rose to the challenge. But our tongues are dragging now. And I told them that's probably the most physical game you'll see all year. But, who knows what Faith Christians is going to bring to the table. But it's exciting. And to be in the Final Four, whew, that's pretty dang good.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Now that's 5 times since 2004, and for the 4th time since 2004, you'll be taking on Faith Christian, but it'll be here at Beat Digger Stadium. But what Dave was saying earlier, this is really the type of game that the Beat Diggers needed.
Yeah, we did. We needed a tough game. Going into this, they brought it up, and we brought it. Papers here brought it up, and it was definitely on my mind. And that was the most thing I was worried about. I knew we had a good football team, but after what we've done, and I was worried whether we got a little soft or not. And I try to prepare them as best you can, and try to prepare them for the physicality that it's going to be. And we got some players that got some bumps and bruises, most definitely today. And we gotta quickly heal up and start working on that Faith Christian. I know my coaches are excited about getting film and starting breaking things down and see what we can do.
Yeah, I'll correct myself. 6 times since 2004 in the semifinals. Were there any adjustments or just good hard-nosed defense once that Florence came up with those 2 big runs by Johnny Crine to get them back into the ball game?
Well, we didn't make a ton of adjustments. Coach Cummings, was talking to the linebackers in the locker room, and we made a couple of adjustments on how we line up and how we're reading things, and I think that sure did help. And Coach Creighton just kept doing what we do, and those guys did a great job. And I'd flip over to defense once in a while and ask, what the heck's going on? What's this? What's that? And they would know, but couldn't do much about it. So we made a few adjustments at halftime, and it sure did pay off for us. And I think that, I want to say this. Hats off to our team. What heart they have, what determination. A lot of guys are playing both ways. I mean, I don't think Maverick could walk much further than what he's got to walk to the locker room, because his tongues are dragging, and he needs to. I guess we need to work him harder this week and get him in shape.
And Kyle Rosenbrock had a heck of a game for a guy battling a couple of sprained ankles. He had 2 long runs. Obviously, made some big plays on defense as well. And he wasn't the only player, but certainly without his effort, this team wouldn't be in the position they're in right now.
Oh, Kyle's a tremendous player. We all know that, and. We had a pass play called, and he takes off and runs and scores a touchdown. I mean, he's definitely a weapon, and it's nice to have him more healthy, and hopefully that stays that way. Oscar Soto got kind of banged up. I don't think it's serious, but it's one of those things where they just cut our lineman and kept getting into our legs, and I think he's got a little thigh bruise, but I think he'll be okay. But Kyle just did a great job of running and throwing and taking charge of the offense. And then defensively, he didn't play last week, and this week he did. And I think he really improved in the second half and caught on to what was going on.
Coach, this could have been a completely different game by halftime, 27-14 instead. Could have been 21-14, the biggest play of the game. And I still don't know how it was pulled off. A 3rd and 27, a great throw and an excellent catch and run by Jake Brown.
Yeah, most definitely. And that's one of those plays that you can't teach, because that's our kids just making a play. And that's exactly what happened. Kyle just scrambled and saw Jake Brown and threw it to him. And that's just those two guys making a play. And thank God it happened. And we were able to, come out on top of that.
How well conditioned is your team, considering you had the football at the 5-yard line with 7:46 to go, and you ended the game on Florence's side of the field with the football? They never got the ball back.
Well, that's what we wanted to do a little bit more of in this game, but fortunately we got some big scores in the first half. But I was a little worried when we had the ball on the 5-yard line, and we had guys, Coach, I'm tired and wanting to come out, I think. But I said, hey, it's time to suck it up. It's our game right now. And they did, and, thank goodness. And hats off to our running back and our linemen. I mean, our running backs, Mikey Gutierrez was running the ball hard. And then, Randy Baker's playing defense and offense, and he had that run, the first run of get us out of that 5-yard line. And he, there was guys all over him, and he kept churning and doing a great job. He kind of scared me on one play. Their linebacker just came in and dove at his legs and took his legs out. I thought, oh my God, I thought he was injured for sure. But he came up, and I tell you what, he's one tough individual, and all our kids are tough. And hopefully, we continue and we heal up from this game, and next task is Faith Christian, and see what happens.
That'll be a week from today, Coach. Congratulations, another big win.
Yeah, a week from today here at Beat Digger Stadium.
That's right, 1 o'clock right here on 1010, as well as KSIR.com. That's Brush head coach Randy Dreitz after the Beat Diggers defeat the Florence Huskies in his 2A quarterfinal, 33-14. Once again, you can get the updates on Twitter at KSIR Sports, the scoring updates, quarter by quarter, and the scoring updates again throughout the course of this game and all the games throughout the 2013 season. We'll also have some video clips up on our KSIR B106 channel on YouTube and at KSIRsports.com. Special thanks, as always, to our sound engineer and producer, Rose Condas, our replay engineer, Alan Lance, our coordinating producer, Brandy Ingersoll. For Dave Urich, I'm John Beltran, as you've been listening to the Beat Digger post-game show brought to you by Buildings by Design. The final score of this afternoon's 2A quarterfinal from Beat Digger Stadium, Brush 33, Florence 14. We'll talk to you a week from today when the Beat Diggers face the Faith Christian Eagles in a semifinal matchup right here on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com.